All right, let's get down to work here today with holistic entrepreneurship. Our purpose for the living and applying the spiritual principles which nurture our souls is a foundation for a sense of purposeful existence. And this doesn't happen by chance. Unless the time and focus is given to this intention, we'll continue to operate on cultural and familial survival patterns. Growing research in the field of psychology indicates that an individual with a strong sense of purpose lives a healthier and happier life than someone who does not. Other research that was done a long time ago indicates the only measurable factor that positively correlates with longevity in all cultures around the world is job satisfaction. So if the work you do on a daily basis is not building your vital energy, it's depleting it and decreasing your ability and motivation to work and play wholeheartedly. So this course is directed to clarifying and infusing our life work with our highest purpose and supportively integrating the practices to do so. Now, don't assume that this means, oh, I got to quit my job. I got to become a breath worker. No, not at all. You can be a janitor, you can be a chef, you can be any number of things. And in fact, you can be doing exactly what you're doing right now, but there's a shift that can happen where you start to open the portals to being nurtured by it rather than joining the group around the water cooler kvetching about the boss, the cultural meme, as it were. So I call this the psychology of total success. We are reinforcing a shift in consciousness we've all started some time ago, or we wouldn't be in this class. So your entrance into this class is something that's called you here because you have a sense that this is in alignment with where you've been going all along. And we have now like-spirited companions to work together at that. This is evolving away from the linear mentality to a holistic perspective. Now, that's not just word trickery, it's semantic differences indicating that now we're expanding from smaller goals to really big ones because we deserve it. No, this is actually a whole paradigm shift in our worldview. Holism is a systems thinking perspective with three tenets that distinguish it from prior forms of thinking, which actually still dominate much of our day-to-day life, mine included. Survival mentality and cause and effect logical mentality. So holistic tenets, number one, and again, no one is going to fall off their chair and say, oh, I never heard that before. No, I'm sure you heard it, but we're looking at applying it now, living it. First of all, the answers to our challenges are within us rather than in outside sources. Now, this does not mean that our mind can solve every issue we have in life, but rather there are sources of wisdom in our heart's intelligence and our higher consciousness, which speak to unique issues better than generic advice from external experts. Number two, each essential element of our system is being inherently supportive of each other element, rather than we are comprised of a conglomerate of parts at odds with one another. Now, it's our minds that are derivative entities that manufacture factions at war with one another and keep us stuck in self-sabotage and unable to manifest our heart's desires. So we're going to learn to discriminate between what is coming from our divisive, fear-based mind and what guidance we're receiving from the unified field of our heart. Third principle is that every aspect of ourselves is a hologram of every other aspect. So as I bring balance to any part of my life, it brings balance to the other aspects. Conversely, as I bring harmony to my inner life, so does it bring harmony to my outer life. Now, even though we may know and subscribe to each of these principles, our identities have been forged in old models that do not always release easily. Now, I'm speaking of myself, as well as all of the colleagues and students that I know. That's why we're working together to create a new model and shape it to our personal path. Strength in numbers and support in changing our inherent mental patterns. Our minds are not the enemy. I'm not setting it up as there's something, a force that we've got to struggle with. They're not the enemy any more than the computer or phone that you're using to be on this class with. They're tools, and they need to be programmed to work in a new paradigm. So I want to just very briefly review how we do this now, this mental reprogramming. So last year in the Creative Life Community Series, the first seminar on spiritual psychology, I outlined the method for reprogramming our mind to be the reliable servant in achieving our highest goals rather than the despotic master it can be when programmed by the fearful beliefs passed on from generation to generation in human history. First, we established that we're not our mind, but we each have a mind to help us with functioning in our world. Secondly, we show that we can discover the contents of our mind with what we call the analysis game, which shows us the most limiting or negative thought we have is based on some intent to protect ourselves from some misguided perception held in place by fear of being hurt in some way. So we'll review this later on in the goal setting process. Then we demonstrate that we have the power to change our minds with the affirmations principle. This helps us align our goals with the power of the universe. This is the goals principle, which we're going to use today, which states, I can create the results I want. So I may recognize my limiting or negative thinking. I may have an affirmation, but I'm still not producing the results. That's what I call the booby prize. No, we want to put this into our lives. And that's why we're going to be doing some sharing and work, rolling up our sleeves and working today. So how do we harness the power of the universe behind every aspect of what we do and support why we're here on Earth? In other words, how do we live our purpose? So our purpose is our raison d'etre, our reason for being in this world. As I mentioned earlier, it's the umbrella sheltering all the goals we choose. Purpose gives meaning to goals and is a defining aspect of our life on Earth. Goals have a beginning, middle, and end. For example, you saw the flyer for this course. Something piqued your interest in that. You had the intent, well, maybe I'll get some value. This community here and this old Morningstar character, who knows? Could happen. Then you sign up and you engage in it wholeheartedly, even when challenges appear. You complete the seminars and get the payoff of manifesting more than you imagined you could. But then you'll be on to other goals, other classes, other activities in your life, building on the success that you have here. So beginning, middle, end. But your purpose, your reason for being in this world will not end with this course. It hopefully will just make that purpose more evident and joyful. So we're going to do a little exercise together now. It's called the statement of purpose. in doing our job well, let's make a brief statement of our purpose by completing handout 1 that was sent to you. Now, if you can't immediately access handout 1, don't worry. It's very simple. Mike is going to put it up on the screen right now. And you can use this as a piece of paper or type right on your computer. And we're going to do this together. Okay? Doing this little exercise can have a big impact on the results of all you propose for your goals for the next year. All right, there's 4 steps to it. Step number 1 is we're going to write down 3 to 5 signature strengths. For example, your enthusiasm, your creativity, your humor. And don't be shy. It's important that you're truthful. Now, even if a quality is not fully developed, you might say your sensitivity, but I can't say that's a signature strength of mine. I'm really not as sensitive as my partner. And no. If you feel that sensitivity is an important quality for you, bingo, write it down. Just 3 to 5, and you will grow into it as you own it. So don't be shy here. As I said, even a quality not fully developed, but you like to have part of yourself and would like to see grow. So do this right now, even if you're using a piece of paper or whatever, just write down 3 to 5 qualities. Now, we're going to move right along through this, and you will have the opportunity to go back and add and subtract and all that later on. Some people get very meticulous with it, and that's okay. That's part of your personality. That's fine to do it. But don't, as the French say, casser la tête. Don't break your head on it. Oh, it's got to be the perfect words. Oh, I got to do. No. I've done this exercise over the years many times. Each time it's different. The wording is different, but the spirit comes through. All right. Second step is you're going to list the ways that you enjoy expressing yourself with others. For example, by teaching, by supporting, by empowering, by exciting, by co-creating. What are the most fulfilling ways that you have of interacting with others? Playing music. So go ahead and write them down right now. Ways that you are most fulfilled in or enjoy most in interacting with others. Okay, the third step is to describe the way you would like to see everyone in the universe interacting with everyone else. This is an ideal, a world in which there's mutual support and empowerment for every person. So this is a statement describing an ultimate condition, the perfection of the universe in your terms, which is brought about by using our signature strengths. Now, this should be both idealistic but possible, not like we're all living in the moon in a geodesic dome. No, this is idealistic, but it's achievable. And now the fourth step is to combine the 3 prior subdivisions of this into a paragraph, which is a single statement. So an example is, my purpose is to use my creativity, inquisitiveness, and optimism to support and teach others to express their talents so that everyone continually experiences a life of joy, grounded in love and service to others. Or to help bring about a world in which everyone continually experiences a life of joy, grounded in love and service to others. Take a few minutes right now and just put these together. Do it grammatically, but don't go into a perfection mode where it's got to be a Hallmark card or something. No, just use your words, stuff that you wrote down here, That's what gives it power. Not it's fancy and other people are going to like it. What gives it power is it comes from your heart. Make that short statement right now, single paragraph. Okay, just another minute, then we're going to do some sharing. Okay, so we're going to go into breakout rooms now with a partner, and you're going to share with your partner what came out for you as your statement of purpose. When we share our highest intentions with another human, it helps reinforce its power in our lives and in the world. So treat this as a sacred act as you share, and a sacred gift as you listen to your partner sharing. Welcome back. We're going to do a little brief introduction so that everyone gets to hear everyone else. Have each person say your name and just one sentence or phrase, which is about what was useful for you in writing and sharing your statement of purpose.
Writing it down was pretty profound. I talk about it in conversation, but I've never really written it down, I don't think, and read it out loud.
Great. Thank you.
I think I just enjoy writing, and more than the writing, honestly, I like the communicating. I think it really helps. There are people who think to talk and people who talk to think, and I'm definitely the person who talks to think. So that helps me a lot.
Beautiful. Thank you.
What was really nice about sharing it was I felt like I was putting it out to the universe.
Yes.
And that it was like, I don't know, it was a statement.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I liked the setup where it was three separate prompts and then bringing it all together. That was really helpful for me. And I liked being able to say it out loud. It felt engaging.
Good. Great. Thank you.
What I liked about this activity was putting it all together and really hearing it out loud. I don't think I had ever said it out loud. And putting it into a sentence, and my partner helped me with that as well.
And what I got out of this exercise was to have a purpose that was something other than survival. So it was nice to say it and find it.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, doing this exercise was beautiful because it really, as I spoke it out loud, it resonated with every cell of my body. So, yes.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
I really felt that sharing this just brought some clarity in my mission and helped me align with a little bit more of my truth and kind of deciding what kind of impact I'd like to create.
Beautiful. Good.
And what I liked about the exercise was I'm always fascinated by when things really feel like they're in alignment, like there's no wobble, and I could really feel that in reading it out loud. So thank you.
Thank you. What was useful for me, because I did do this ahead of time, and I just recognized how amazing it was, as so many people shared, to make it personal and expansive at the same time. That it's like you say, little old me is actually a big part of the fabric of the universe, as is everyone else. I'm so happy to be able to share these tools, even though, as many people said, I've done this a number of times before. It's different and brings us back into the here and now.